Hey, I'm Shuki, the artist behind Novyra Jewelry and Clay Art, and today I'm going to show you everything I would buy if I were starting out with air dry clay today. First things first, air dry clay, arguably the most important material. I personally love Fimo air dry clay as I find it just as good if not better than desk clay, and I can get it slightly cheaper here. The most important tool you can have is your hands. Yes, just your hands. You don't need any fancy tools. You can flatten, shape, tear the clay, and with a little bit of water you can make slip, which is perfect glue for the clay. You can make any shapes you want. The first actual tool I recommend is a rolling pin. I use a rubber coated metal one, but acrylic works well too. I don't recommend wooden ones because the clay sticks to them and they are pain to clean. If you don't want to spend money, you can even use a pen or a marker as a rolling tool. Mine also came with thickness guide, so I can roll the clay evenly, but you can easily DIY this by using two objects of equal height, like pencils or wooden sticks, and taping them to your work surface. Next up is cutting tools. An X-Acto knife is an ideal one, but mine unfortunately rusted away and they can be a bit pricey. So you can also use a kitchen knife or even a plastic knife. The goal is just to get a clean edge. Here I also don't recommend a wooden one as they are hard to clean. Here you can see me use the plastic knife for cutting the piece of clay out. For air dry clay, I really recommend the plastic knife as it works perfectly with air dry clay, but for polymer clay I would recommend you get an X-Acto knife as it's much sharper and it does a much cleaner cut. I should probably get a new one as well. I also really like dotting tools. They help you blend the clay, create shapes and add indents. You can get plastic or metal ones, and some even come with rubber shaping tips on the other end, which are great for smoothing joints where two pieces of clay meet, especially when your fingers are too big for the detailed work. I personally have some rubber tools that are separate from the dotting tools, but they are quite big. If you're planning on making bigger clay pieces, these big rubber tools could be perfect for you. These rubber tools are much better for working two pieces of clay together compared to the dotting tools, because dotting tools are hard metal balls and they create indents, and while the rubber tools are like very bendy and smoother. So if you use them properly, they will leave no mark on the clay. And the different shaped heads are perfect for different shapes of clay pieces. The next one is not recommended often. PVA glue is great for repairing broken air dry clay pieces. It works by bonding the parts back together securely once it dries. I have found it especially useful when a piece snaps after drying or during handling. I've also used it while the clay was wet, so it bonds a bit better while it dries. I don't know if it worked, but the pieces didn't come apart. I also highly recommend getting a sanding paper or sanding sponge. Air dry clay doesn't always dry perfectly smooth, so a bit of sanding goes a long way. If you want to keep the natural clay color, that's totally fine, but if not, I recommend getting acrylic or gouache paint as well as acrylic markers. In my experience, they work really well on clay. Acrylic markers are especially great for finer details. These aren't strictly necessary, but they are very nice to have. I know for different types of clays, for example porcelain clay, they like to blend the color into the clay already. I've never personally tried that before and I'm not sure if it works with modern clay, but I'm very open to try it if you are interested. If you are enjoying the video, please like and subscribe, it would help me a lot. For air dry clay, you also need a varnish because the clay can reactivate with water and a good varnish helps make it much more resistant to water and everyday wear. If you want to know which varnish to use, I tested several in another video. Go and check it out on screen right now. Varnishes are really important and there are so many different types and you should really find the one that best suits your needs. So I really recommend checking out more comparison videos as well. In my video, I compared the price, how easy it is to use, how it looks, how durable it is, and the price points as well. If you want consistency, I would really recommend you get a few cutters, but these are absolutely not necessary and some people do really like the rustic feel that you can get by just hand shaping the clay. In the video, I used the cutters to make custom cat head magnets, which you can order right now in my shop if you are interested. Or you can just watch me make it in my other video. If you are interested in buying them, you can use the coupon code right now screen to get 15% off if you buy any 2 items. You can find different clay magnets or clay trinkets or even custom-made jewelry. You should also have a proper surface to work on so you don't damage your table. Avoid anything that dissolves with water like paper. For budget options, I recommend parchment paper taped down to the table or a silicone mat or cutting mat. These are non-slip, easy to clean and help prevent the clay from deforming. But honestly, if you can only get 5 things, I would obviously recommend getting the clay, a rolling pin, sanding paper, paint because then you can decorate it extremely prettily, which elevates the clay piece a lot, and the varnish to seal it so it can stay beautiful even longer. But of course you can check out all the other things I recommended because none of them should be too expensive. Have a lovely rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Bye!